Hey, welcome to Tigner Adventures, and this is a cool little place we're going to stop and visit called the Beckley Exhibition Coal Mine. It's in Beckley, West Virginia. So, never been to a coal mine before, so we're going to go check it out and see what that's all about. There's coal all around this area. So we happen to be in West Virginia, so it's still an active thing that's going on in the country. This mine that we're going to go see hasn't been in service for a while apparently. So, but we're going to go in there and just check it out and see kind of what coal mining was all about and maybe where we're going. Yeah, how we're doing it. It's got a fairly big parking lot, so you can get your RV in here. We're parking in the bus parking. I don't know if that was intended that way or not, but it worked perfect. Another museum, really quiet. They've got tickets over here on the left and a gift shop. They have a few buildings of museums, so a few different buildings you can go through, talking all about the coal mine. And then they also have a tour that you can take into the mine itself. And it is $16 for seniors or $22 for adults, because seniors aren't adults. We have our wristbands. We are going to go take the tour and check out the mine itself. Never been in a real coal mine before.
Video me, put pressure on it now.
Yeah, that's our job, isn't it?
Where are you guys from?
We are full-time RVers.
Tour guide. I worked underground 43 years. Safety rules to go over: don't raise your hands, try to touch the roof. You can cut yourself on one of those plates, a little rock could fall down on you.
To the mines we go. Not very tall. That makes me worried that he's wearing a hard hat and we don't have one. Got to bring a coat.
Before anyone can go underground, the mines has to be what we call firebossed by a certified person. Someone comes in early, checks for methane, carbon monoxide. We take a look at the roof and the rib to make sure everything's safe. We don't have to do that here because we don't produce coal, but we still do. Every morning one of us comes in early and does those checks. Now I'm going to show y'all how they mined coal back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Now, I wasn't around then, guys. Come on, give me. Today's coal miners are wearing a strap with a battery. It's mostly all remote control. This mines was a pick and shovel all the way. There was never any electrical equipment ever used in this mines. This mines went under the city of Beckley for about 7 miles in diameter. Now they had to take a pick and pick out this coal and shovel it on these cars. That coal seam, 28 inches high. That's what they were working in. They wasn't standing up like me. They were working in 28 inches of coal. As we go on up, the coal seam goes up to about 30, 32 inches in places. The company made the miners work 12-hour shifts. They demanded that they hand load 10 tons of coal in 12 hours. If they didn't do it, they'd lose their job. A lot of times they brought their teenage son in to help them get the quota. Once the car was loaded, they didn't have direct deposit. They all had a piece of wood with a number on it. That number corresponded to their name outside. That's how they knew who to pay. Now, they were thieves back then, like they are today. A lot of times the car would go outside, somebody would steal that wood and put it on their car. This poor guy wouldn't get paid. So finally, they put the wood in the car first. Then they loaded the car.
Oh.
Then when they unloaded it, they knew who to pay. Now, back in these days, they had track, but they didn't have electricity underground. How did they drag these cars out of the mines back in those days? What did they use?
Horses.
Horses, mules, donkeys. Everybody lived in a coal camp. Every coal camp had a company store. Maybe you've heard the song, 16 tons, what do you get Another day older and deeper in debt. That's where it was. They bought all their food, clothing, medicine, tools. Everything had to be purchased at the company store. Even the houses they lived in were rented from the company store. Now that car over here's got rock on it, right there. If that car went out back in those days with that rock on it, they would deduct that rock from their pay. They had to hand separate that rock. Today we have cleaning plants and tipples that does all that for you. I've got an LED light on my cap. They didn't have LED lights back then. They started out with a teapot and a can of kerosene. They'd empty that kerosene into the teapot. It would fit on their cap. They would ignite it. It'd be an open flame. Now what's going to happen if that flame happens to hit a pocket of methane? It'll be a pop. A lot of methane, there's going to be an explosion. This light only lasted about 3 hours. Then they'd have to relight it again. After the teapot, they came out with what's called a carbide lamp. This is carbide, this is water. Now when you mix water with carbide, it forms like a acetylene gas. See that gas coming out of there? They usually don't pop that loud. I apologize. How would you like to work a 12-hour shift with a light like this? That's all they had. Each coal miner had to carry a can of carbide with them. If they were lucky, this light would last about 4 hours. If they ran out of water to light it, they had to use their spit to light it. All right, guys, now I want to show everybody how dark it is underground without any light at all. Over the years, my light went out plenty of times. One time my light went out, took me about 30 minutes to find me. I had one major problem, one major concern, and it wasn't going to the bathroom. I don't have to have a light to go to the bathroom. My biggest problem was the rats crawling on me.
Oh.
This is a flame safety lamp. We used to use these in the old days. They outlawed them about 1975. You could take this lamp and put it a foot from the top. If the top of that flame turns blue and elongates, that means you're in methane gas. They didn't have any way to check back then. We also used this to check for low oxygen. You could be walking along, and it happened to me plenty of times. I'd be walking along, and that flame would go out or start to go out. That means there's not enough oxygen in front of me to survive. Today they use a spotter. All you do is push a button. It'll give you a methane check and a carbon monoxide check. We use an anemometer to check for air readings. Now they had one way to check for low air and methane back in those days. This is what it was right here. Now what is that?
Oh, a bird?
Yeah, what kind is it? That amazes me. No one's ever heard of West Virginia, but they've heard about canaries in the coal mine.
Must have been inside.
They'd go to work and they'd set the canary right here, and they'd start picking and shoving. If that canary is chirping and singing something like "Almost Heaven," West Virginia, Blue Ridge, everything's fine. If it's laying flat on its back with its legs up in the air, it's only a matter of time before it's going to get you. These canaries saved a lot of coal miners' lives back then. All right, now who's the mathematician out of you two right here? Which one of y'all's a mathematician? All right, here we go. Back in those days, they made 20 cents a ton. They had to work a 12-hour shift and hand load 10 tons of coal at 20 cents a ton. How much money did they make?
20 cents a ton for 10 tons, $2.
That's right. Then they had to spend $5 or $6 every so many days just to pay for a little shack they lived in. Today's coal miners make anywhere from 85 to 100,000 a year, somewhere along in that.
This is a miner's house. Kitchen. Oh, they have a fire burning. A bedroom. This is the superintendent's house. Wow. definitely a lot bigger. Big kitchen. Wow, look how big the dining room is. Wow.
A Kirby vacuum.
Really?
Yep. Wow. See where all the money was going to.
That's right, all the money was going to the superintendent.
Yeah.
They had an in-house wash machine. Look at this. Wow, what a living room. Living room office. Oh, even upstairs. Oh, they had in-house plumbing? Wow. This big bathroom. That's a pretty good sized bathroom. Wow, this is interesting. Superintendent had a, I don't think this is part of the superintendent, barber shop. They just put a barber shop in here. Look at this. Nice bed. Huh. Apparently the superintendents had all the money for sure. Oh, there's another upstairs.
It's a post office.
Oh, so they put a few extra things in here. A post office.
This is a doctor's office. So what would that
Dr. F.J. Moore.
be? What would they be?
All right, we found somebody that knew a little bit, and they said that all those rooms belonged to the superintendent. That was actually furnished to them by the company, and those were all bedrooms and things. So all the things that are in there now, the barber shop, the doctor's office, the post office, and everything, that was all up in the camp area that everybody went into. They even have a schoolhouse. Wow, this is a big schoolhouse. A lot bigger than the one-room schoolroom that I grew up in when I was a little kid. I'm sure I've blocked this out of my memory. I'm not sure that I've had a dunce cap in the corner, but maybe. This is the bachelor's shanty. It's definitely small. You don't need any more room than about this much, though. So they did have a little stove, and they had a table and a bed. This was a single dwelling for a single
Or
man.
married man to make his way home.
His rent would have been about $2 a month. And then here is the Cole Camp Church. Yep. Looks like a church. Well, so coal mining was a big thing. It still kind of is. It's been going on for a long time. And so we learned a few things about it today, and it's pretty interesting. So I'm not sure that's something I would want to do, and I'm sure glad they've made things a lot easier for the coal miners in getting the coal out. I know they do a lot better job now getting it out instead of leaving a lot behind. Yeah, and the safety's a lot more there, and so that's good. So anyway, thanks for coming along. Hopefully you learned something from this video too about coal, and I mean, there's still a lot of uses for it in the country, and so who knows how. I was talking to the guy, and he says he doesn't see it ever going away, but who knows. So thanks for coming along. We'll just plan on seeing you down the road somewhere or on our next video, so take care.